Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member Jimenez. And thank you so much, Admiral Fagan, for being here. You've got an illustrious career, and as a former member or a veteran of the United States Army, I thank you for your service. In fiscal year 2021, the Coast Guard interdicted over 3,500 undocumented migrants at sea, almost double the number from fiscal year 2020. What role does the Coast Guard play in protecting our border security from human and drug smuggling, which we know has rapidly increased in the past 18 months?
Thank you, Representative. We play a critical role in the maritime migration vectors. This is life-saving work. The journey to attempt migration by sea is particularly perilous, and the potential for loss of life significant. And so we remain postured with both our cutters and small boats and aircraft to detect early when a migration attempt has begun, and then move to intercept so that we don't experience loss of life. But your statistics are correct. The flows are higher this year than they've been in the past, but we are postured to prevent loss of life in those vectors. With regard to counter narcotics and the counter narcotic mission, we as well are postured both in the Caribbean and in the Eastern Pacific to interdict and counter those illicit activities at sea. This is a 365, 24/7 mission for the Coast Guard. We do it in conjunction with other interagency partners, with Southcom, Joint Interagency Task Force South, Customs and Border Patrol. It is truly a team effort, certainly in the counter-narcotics as well as in the maritime migration realm. And it's to my mind, a great example of a unity of effort approach with regard to our national resources against those threat streams.
And you mentioned this briefly, but transnational crime organizations, we know, and drug cartels are leveraging the capability gaps and the gaps in our southern border to enhance their operations. What trends has the Coast Guard observed related to shifts in smuggling routes in the Caribbean and Pacific maritime domains?
Thank you. We obviously follow the trends and the flows closely, and would be happy to give you details on what has changed. There is increased flow in the Caribbean at this point this year than what we have seen in previous years. We've done a lot as well, and again in a classified setting, would be happy to share some of the analysis we've done on the network, on the TCO networks and how they operate to then put a vessel at sea with illicit narcotics on it. And I would add that the counter narcotics and the interdiction work we do, this too is life-saving work. These are drugs that do not get into our cities, and overdoses that are avoided. Again, we'd be happy to give a much more detailed assessment on flows, what's shifted, and how we're countering the TCOs.
Yeah, if that's something permissible, I think it would be valuable for all of us. We know that these gaps in our southern border have led to increased drugs, especially synthetic fentanyl coming across. We recently voted on legislation in order to protect our CBP agents, Coast Guard agents, our Coast Guard members, and others who handle these drugs, law enforcement officers, from touching them that could lead to deadly overdose. And you're correct, it's not only a life-saving for those members coming across, but for those people in the United States that receive drugs, but also for our Coast Guard itself when there's increased trafficking, increased people trying to come across into this country. So I want to thank you for your testimony and would love to have a further briefing on the trends that you're noticing as well, too. Thank you so much. Thank you for your